I'm about to show you how to create a furniture based on a photograph. I mean an upholstered furniture, because
Yes.
we already covered this topic from different point of views. But now we are talking about upholstered furniture. Let's see what we have started with and how we could create something like this. Now, as you can see, I have this folder with the images, and this image library contains a few images of this thing. It was perhaps part of a catalog or something like that. The point is that it contains nice views of this object from the back. It's kind of just an overview. I can't really necessarily use this, but maybe perhaps for the legs. And there's a nice front view. So for my purposes, it's the best if I have side views and front views which are nicely and clearly showing their original shapes. I would be happy with the top view as well.
Yes.
And if this is something that I would like to model based on an original photograph that I took on the spot. This is how I should make my photographs to take as many shots as I can, but most importantly from the other side, and if I can from the top, if it's not too large.
Actually, what happens here, we already discussed during the two parts of the two-dimensional design tools in ARCHLine webinars, where we actually talked about how to import a photograph, scale it, calibrate it, and then redraw it to turn it into a line drawing.
Yeah, just to kind of quickly recap how this works, and the reason to calibrating is that when I place the image, I can define only the image size, not the content size.
Yes.
And if I don't do that, I just land with a smaller, large image. And to be able to use this for my purposes, if this is a catalog image, I can see in the catalog the size of this furniture. If it was a survey, I have to measure it to be able to create something. And this is what I measured on the spot. It was 1,170 millimeters tall. And then this is an important information when I use this calibrate tool. When I pick the bottommost and the topmost point of this whole thing, I can say that, okay, this is
1,170.
I'm in meters now, but yeah, 1.17, and then it's calibrated. So this is how we got to this part. Let's just erase that. And
then after that, use the two-dimensional sketching tools to sort of highlight the outlines of this drawing.
Well, here there is one interesting and I think very useful advice that I can give. The point here is that now I'm about to, sketch or draft an item that is completely symmetrical. So to reduce issues, errors that I might put by myself simply by not being accurate enough on tracing an image, it's enough to model, trace only 1/2 of this symmetrical item and then mirror it using the mirror tool. So however I do it, I just quickly recap the whole thing. It's just I would use either the polyline or the spline tool. Perhaps here the polyline is much better, because the polyline is a series of lines and smooth arcs that I can just use to quickly follow the contour. And then when I'm done, I just quickly symmetrically
mirror the whole
mirror
thing.
it to the other side. So this is how I got to this part. And now when I have this part, I can further break it down, because on the original photograph I saw that there is a part which is using this size, and there is another part which is very similar but skipping the rest of the bottom part. And then the same way I just kept the top view of the seat itself. And there is an interesting part here. Actually,
there
are
the
two
backrest?
things. The backrest, that's the curve of the backrest, which was visible from the other side. And that's the curve of the leg itself. And these are the things that are necessary for me to be able to build up something like this. So let's go here and figure it out how this was built. If I open it now, you can already see that I assembled this object already in the Smart Object Assembly. It's just the same way. So I modeled the backrest, I modeled the seat, I modeled the legs. Now let's start with the seat, because in this manner this is the simplest. So this pillow is actually something that if I go to modify, it was created with a Smart Object part. It is having this specific size, it is having some nice rounding off around the edges. It has a vertical straight line from the frontal view. It has a vertical straight line from the side view. It's not curvy. I could make it, but I didn't because it's not like that. And it has a specific top view, which is a custom profile. A custom, if I see it's a custom profile, it's something that I didn't save. I just used the, you know, this one here, and I just
and then we just picked up that
with the close loop, and let's use this, and this is how I did it. So this is how you can get something like this. This is why it's wise to track things around.
And then I guess you added the rounding of the edges,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So then I changed this value here, this rounding. So what I have here then is of course the material. This is a cream material, but I can change it to something else and so on. And then I have one single effect, and it's the pillow effect to, you know, blow it up a little bit more on this side, but there is nothing on the other side. The other side is completely flat, just as I mentioned before. There are general settings, I did not cover that, but of course if you use it as an individual object, you can say the relative elevation just as with other objects, but now this will be part of a larger thing, so it's not that much important. And then I just saved it as a pillow object. So this is how I got to this part. Let's see how I created this back rest, and let's just start with this one, this large unit, because this is actually created. This can be created two ways: one small one and the large one. But this was created as one single piece. And if I go to the editor, let's see how it's done. It was a smart object part. It was modeled quite the same way. The only thing, the first thing was it was vertical. It is having this specific size, but it's simply because, see, I cannot change it because it was picked by one of these profiles. And the top profile is horizontal. I mean, it's a straight line. It is not curvy this way. I mean, we can see some curve, but that's something else. I will tell you that. And there is this one. It's the second one, is the side view curve. And this is where I used the same way. I just designed this profile and used my drawing to track the original curve from the photograph. I could save it, but I didn't this time. And the same way I designed this kind of frontal view of this whole thing. And then at the end, I of course designed the material, and I decided to either put at least a pillow effect. I have one pillow effect at the front, and I have perhaps nothing at the back. See, it's actually flat, but because of the curve, it's hard to see. But as you can see, you can combine these effects together and not just, you know, use
so
one pillow effect.
Oh, I see. So you can have the pillow and the tuft, so you can combine
so
as many things
I
as
can
you
blow
want.
it up, and I can add tufting. So let's just see what are those three. The second is also a pillow. The difference, if I move from this here and to this, see, this is having a custom area. And this custom area is, it's affecting only this part.
Because that's the backrest part, right?
So that was the time when I used this.
I see.
So I saw on
Makes
the
sense
original
now.
photograph that it's until the seat is connecting to it, it's just, you know, flat, and then it's having this fluffy and pillow effect.
Just the way it's supposed to be.
So I just used this. I actually again just used the original profile that I designed here, and then I just added a bigger depth. In this case, well, actually this is the thickness, and let me just further blow it. It will be 0.1, and you can see it's, so this is how it affects only this area. Changing back to 0.05 tells you the difference, okay? And it is further combined with something called the tufted effect, and it's actually a nailing. These three dots here are nailed into the fabric of this whole thing. And again, it is having a custom area, using the same custom area as before, and having a specific radius, a specific depth. And actually, this is also something very important, that you can change the shape of these things.
I see. So it's like the intensity of the or the pegs,
the
which
basic
are whole.
shape, yeah, the basic look-alike. If this is button-like or something, you can change this way. These are there for you, readily available for use. You can even, you know, rotate this if this is something specific, and then you can just play around with these settings to find the best position that you are about to create. You can again pick things from the drawing and then just use this whole thing as one single piece. Save it and then combine it. Now I'm not saving it actually, I'm just skipping it. and then combine it with the other.
With the
for
seat
example,
part.
this one, I add the new one, I place it around, and then
We haven't talked about the legs yet, so.
Yeah, the legs are well, they are created the same way, just as the same way as the other unit was. It was a loft.
Mhm.
The only trick here is it's that it is having a specific
So it had a
custom
curved
profile.
profile. It's not a vertical one. It's
This is the same curve I designed here. So I just picked it using this one. Of course, the basic orientation was vertical, but I just picked the profile. And then here I did the same identical thing. I just created one leg section with a specific size and another one at the bottom with another specific size, and the software did the rest. The loft is a transforming tool. It will automatically solve a shape like this.
Yes.
I just need to set the beginning, the start, and the curve or a breaking curve.
also where the reference point should be, and that
Yeah.
would position the profiles in relation to that curve.
Yeah,
Or
actually, this was created with three different cross sections. This one, and there is another one which is not visible now, and another one, but it's actually enough to have only two.
Yes.
So this is how a complex object like this builds up, using the same method, creating the basic unit and then adding more and more and more things. So we can clearly see there is 1, 2, 3, 4 items building up this unit, and then at the end it was saved as the Marcel chair.